Today, I want us to cover how to integrate KoboToolbox with Power BI using the API. API stands for Application Programming Interface, and most web-based applications have APIs that integrate with external sources. So KoboToolbox has an API that we're going to use to integrate with Power BI. Power BI is used for data visualization and analysis, visual reporting. So we can begin the tutorial. This is a pre-designed dashboard for the Titanic dataset. I prefer using the Titanic dataset because it has most of the variables that we can use to learn analysis and visualization. I'll share the Titanic dataset with you. Now, this is already a pre-designed dashboard that I've already designed, but I want us to see how we can design this dashboard from scratch. So when you look at this dashboard, you'll see I have so many visuals. I have the bar graphs, I have the table, I have the funnel right here, I have the pie chart, and I have the donut chart, and I have a table again. Now this is a basic visualization in Power BI, but the moment you learn the fundamentals of designing visuals in Power BI, then you'll be able to design advanced dashboards using DAX, that is data analysis expressions, in Power BI based in the M language that Power BI is based on. So we should be able to design this dashboard from scratch. And to have a look, then you know the dashboard that we're going to design. So I already have this data set in KoboToolbox. Now, this is the data set in KoboToolbox. This is the data set that already have the data collected in KoboToolbox. But I want us to see how we can migrate this data from KoboToolbox into Power BI to be able to design the dashboard that I previously showed you. So let's begin the steps of how to integrate Power BI with KoboToolbox. One thing for sure, identify the form ID. This is the form ID here. Okay, this is the form ID. Once the form ID is identified, you're going to create a notepad, which I'm going to show you, so that we have the form ID and the other variables, which I'm going to show you. Now, you're going to get the form ID from KoboToolbox and put it right here. This is the form ID from KoboToolbox. Now, the format for the API, this is the format. If you're using KoboToolbox, not for the Humanitarian KoboToolbox, but if you're using KoboToolbox, which has this URL. So you're going to copy this form ID, get this form ID, and place it in here. Okay, you're going to get the form ID from Kobo. You're going to get this form ID here, this form ID. After I've copied it, you're going to come and put it in your notepad right here. Copy it and put it right here. Paste it here. Then once it is pasted, copy it and put it in this URL. This is the URL. Okay, so once it's in the URL, you're going to come and open Power BI. Let's first see how to identify the API in Kobo. When I come to Kobo, I come to my name here, where you see my name. Then I go to account settings. Now from account settings, I come to security. Now from security here, this is the API. Okay, I display the API. I will copy the API direct and come and put it in my notepad. I'll come to Power BI here, then I say get data. After I've said get data, I come to web, choose web, then I come to advanced. and I put the URL here. Okay, so I put the URL here. Then if I can come here, HTTP request, which is optional, then I say authorization, but I don't have the option for authorization, and I put the API here. But since I don't have the API, I'll continue to integrate the dataset. I'll say okay. So as it extracts the data, here is the data. Let me delete this. I can ignore this dataset here. So this is our dataset that we've extracted. I give it a name, Titanic. Yes. So the name has changed here. Now I'll have to clean the dataset and remove any other unwanted variables. I'll leave the ID, which uniquely identifies the records in our dataset. Then I remove these other unwanted variables. I clean the dataset and remove. Then I go to the extreme end too. I remove these other unwanted columns that we don't need for analysis. The same applies to this. I remove them. I also remove these. Remove columns. I also remove these two. Remove columns. Alright. So you can see that every step I carry out in Power BI, applied steps will be recorded in here. Removed columns, change type. So let's look at the dataset and try to understand it. Now this is the passenger ID. This is survived, the passengers that survived. 0 is for no, 1 is for yes. P class is the passenger class. We have the third class, 3 for third class, 1 for first class, and 2 for second class. Then here is the passenger name. And this is the sex. This is the age. This is sibling spouse. And this is parent child. And this is the ticket number. This is the ticket number, and this is the fare. And the cabin and embarked. Embarked is where the passengers were embarking off the ship. Okay, so we have to clean the dataset for downstream analysis. You can see for survived, yes or no is numeric, and we'll be unable to analyze data that is in numeric. We need to transform this into categorical. So rule number 1, the survived variable, I'll change it into a text. Change type into text. How do I know that it's a numeric? When I see 1, 2, I know that column is numeric, but when I see ABC, I know it's categorical. So, but still, it's categorical, but I can see zeros and 1. So I transform this. Where there's a 0, I put no. Where there's 1, I put yes. So I right click and say replace values. So 0, I say no, replace with no. And where there's 1, I replace with yes. 1, I replace with yes. You can see that. So this column is transformed. Where there's a 0, there's no. Where there's 1, there's yes. So I do the same for passenger class. Where there's a 3, I transform it. First I transform it into a text. Change type to text. I right click, replace values. Where there's 3, I say third class. Third class. Where there is a 1, I replace with first class. And where there is a 2, I replace with second class. Alright. So for the names, I leave them the way they are. But when I look at sex, I see they're all in lowercase. So I have to capitalize each first word. I right click and say transform, capitalize each word to structure the dataset. So for age, I leave it numeric, that's okay. Sibling spouse, this shows the number, the sibling and spouse who on the ship that time. Parent child, how many parents and children were on the ship. Ticket, I leave it the way it is. Then I come to fare, I leave it the way it is. Cabin, it's okay. We don't need it for analysis. Then I come to embark. Now, when you look at embarked, S stands for Southampton, that's in England. C is for Chibon, that is in France. And Q is for Queenstown in Ireland. So I have to transform them from just letters into names for the cities. So I right click and say replace value. What is S? I add Southampton. Sorry. Right click and replace this with Southampton. Okay. For the C, replace it with Chibon. see. Okay, queue with Queenstown. Now this is data cleaning. I'm cleaning the data set. Queue with Queenstown. This is basic data cleaning. There is more advanced data cleaning where we can transform the data set, pivoting and pivoting the data, and many more. But now I'm just carrying out basic data cleaning of the Titanic data set to understand how we can clean the data set and integrate it with Power BI for visualization and analysis. So this is done. When that is done, I come to close and apply. Okay. Here we are. So when I look at the Titanic tragedy, I can see all my variables, my columns. All right. So now when I look at the canvas, the Power BI canvas, I see this is small for my visuals, and I want to generate my visuals in a portrait format. So what I'll do, I'll click here and come to here, format. I choose canvas settings and increase the size, custom. So I choose the size I want. I'll choose 2500. You can see it is now in portrait form. I'll come to view. Then I say fit to width. You can see now I can scroll here to view my different visuals. Alright, so now we're going to start designing our visuals. First, I'll insert the image. I come to insert image. This is the image. I structure it very well to fit this within the canvas. Then I'm going to add the text. The text is a brief summary of the Titanic tragedy. I format my text well to fit. I increase the size to averagely. I increase the size to averagely 46, 40, 44. Okay, I center it. Choose a background color. Make it blue. Bold the text. Okay, give it a white color. Alright. Then I fit my text very well to fit within the canvas. Okay, there we are. Okay, then I can add summaries of the Titanic dataset. Now, like the total number of passengers on the ship, I'll create a DAX. I'll right click and secret measure. Then I set total passengers equals to count rows. Then choose the Titanic dataset, tragedy, not the dataset but the tragedy. Then I say. Now I can use a card to show the summary of the total passengers. I'll choose the card here. It is displayed, and I choose the total passengers. Yes, it's showing me 25. There were more passengers than this 25. 25 is just a dummy dataset that I used for extracted some data of the Titanic just to display on how to visualize the data. But it's not 25. There were more than 25 passengers on the Titanic ship. Okay. So once this summary is displayed, I can structure it. I'll come and remove, click on it, then come to remove the label, format the value, increase its size if I want to, give it a title, total passengers. Okay. total passengers. I bold the title too. So I want to know the summary of the number of female and males that were on the ship that time. So I'll come and right click, create a measure, and say count male. This is equal to calculate count rows, then a data set, close the braces, then choose 6 Titanic tragedy. I choose the Titanic tragedy dataset. Sex equals to male. So I'll have the measure right here. I choose the card to display the total male, which is right here. There were 13 according to the dataset that I extracted. I format this, then I give it a title too. I use the format painter to format that. Then I come and say total male passengers. We use a DAX to create a summary for the female passengers. I'll come to the dataset, right click, and say measure, new measure, then count female, which will be equal to, I use the calculate function, calculate, then count rows, select the dataset, the tragedy dataset, then select the dataset again, tragedy dataset, 6. Then I say female, I close the braces. Then I choose the card, then select female. Here we are. Then I use the format painter to structure the female card. Okay, I align them well, then give a title to the female passengers. Female total female passengers. Then I bold yes. Now I can include a filter or a slicer so that I can select the passengers based on a criteria. Let me use survived as a slicer. So I select the slicer visual and I select survived. So you can see here, if I say no, it will dynamically filter out the total passengers who never survived at 12, and the male passengers who survived at 10, and the female passengers who never survived at 2. I can do the same for yes. You see how dynamically the figures change. Okay, so I can structure and format the filter. I come to format visual. I remove the slicer header. Then I give it a title. The title will be survived passengers. Then I can bold the title. Now on a slicer, I can come to slicer header, slicer settings. Then I choose the options for the style. Now it's giving me vertical list, but I can choose a drop down, or I choose a tail, depending on what you want. I prefer the drop down, so I select drop down. So I align the slicer like that. Then I normally include a shape so that I can align my visuals differently. Let me select the shape. I'll come to insert shape, choose this shape. Okay, I expand it, then reduce the size like that. Then I style, I choose a different color, green. Okay. 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 Then from here, I can include different visuals. Now, I can decide to include my visuals in a shape. I come to insert shape, choose this shape. Okay, expand it, style it, remove the color, remove the fill to no fill, so that I can have a borderline. You can see that borderline is borderline here. I can copy it, create a copy. I just right click on it and say copy, then I paste it to get a similar visual. I align it well to fit. Then I can copy again for my next visual. I place it down here. Alright, so what visual do I want to include? I'll include a column chart. I click on it, select it here, then choose the total passengers by the sex of the passengers. Select 6. You can see here, so I get a column chart as my first visual. So if I come and select here survived passengers, I say no, then I'll see how many passengers survived. Okay, now I have to include the data labels on my chart so that I can see clearly the figures, the values. Okay, let me format that, and I say come to data labels, I include the data labels. You can see them here now, 10 and 2. So the number of passengers who survived by sex are 10 male and 2 female. Okay, alright, so on the data labels I can decide to include them. This is the auto position, so I say inside. You can see now the data labels are inside the columns. Then I can format the bar chart, the column chart. I can remove the x-axis title, remove it here. Even for the y-axis, I remove the title. Okay, you can see now. Alright, so I can include another visual. Okay, so my next visual will be a pie chart. I come to select a pie chart from the visuals, place it here, total passengers, then by class. You can see. So I structure it very well, remove unwanted titles and wording. I come in here, the title, I can leave it the way it is, total passengers by class. Okay, this is fine. I come to, now after I've done that, I can also decide to split, use a shape to split my first visuals, Control C, Control V, then I get another shape and place it down there, right here. Okay, just place it around here. There we are. Okay. Alright. There we have it. So my next visual will be a funnel. Here we are. Okay, so I select total passengers. Then next is the number of passengers that embarked. Okay, you can see from Southampton we had 19 passengers that embarked. Queenstown we had 3. Okay, structure it very well to fit within my shape. There we are. Okay, I can select the shape again and paste it right here. Okay, then I choose another visual. I'm going to choose a table now. Choose a table. Then I'll include all the numeric variables. Choose total passengers. I can include the age of the passengers, then the ticket. Okay, then I can include where they embarked from. Okay, let's see how this looks like when I structure it. Okay, I structure it to fit. Okay, then I said don't summarize age. Here we are. Let me remove impact and include the fare, then the cabin. Okay, then I fit it within my table. Okay, there we have it. Okay, there we have one of our tables. Okay, so which other visuals can we include? So if I come in here and I select no, yes, for the total passengers that survived, I see total passengers are 13, the male are 3, the female are 10. And even when I look down at other visuals, I will see they have dynamically changed. 10, 3, you can see everything changes. Okay, that's how Power BI works. Dynamically changes, all the visuals are related, and the moment I choose one from the slicers, all other visuals will dynamically change according to what I've selected. Okay, so you can see we have easily created visuals within Power BI and integrated Power BI with a KoboToolbox using an API. This is how simple it is. Now we can create more advanced visuals using Power BI, but this is a basic visual that I wanted us to see how we can easily integrate KoboToolbox and Power BI and carry out data analysis and visualization. Thank you.